Today I stand before you to speak on a theme that cuts across time, culture, and generation, a theme that is not only about who we are, but also about what we leave behind when we are no more. That theme is building a legacy through family, particularly through marriage. When we hear the word legacy, many of us instantly think of wealth, monuments, or fame. We imagine skyscrapers named after philanthropists, foundations established by the rich, or great books written by geniuses. Yet, when all is said and done, the greatest legacy we leave behind is not written on buildings or carved on marble. It is written on the hearts of people we love, those we live with, those who carry our names and our stories. The family, and at its heart, the sacred bond of marriage, is the seedbed of legacy. A legacy is not only about what you accomplish but about what outlives you. Wealth may fade, titles may be forgotten, and buildings may crumble, but the values instilled in a family can echo through centuries. Marriage is not just the union of two individuals, it is the coming together of destinies to build a future that transcends them both. It is about creating a sanctuary where love is not only spoken but lived, where children learn what it means to be human, and where the blueprint for tomorrow is drawn. 1. Marriage is the foundation of legacy. Marriage is often misunderstood in our time. Too many see it as a mere contract, a legal convenience, a partnership of necessity. But marriage, in its truest sense, is not transactional, it is transformational. It is the deliberate choice of two people to build a life together, to become more than they are separately, to turn me into we. The foundation of any enduring legacy is commitment. Without commitment, marriages collapse, families fracture, and societies weaken. When a husband and wife stand before witnesses and say, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, they are not merely speaking poetic lines. They are declaring a covenant that reaches beyond them, an agreement that what they build together will stand firm even in storms. It is in this crucible of commitment that legacies are born. A man who is faithful to his wife leaves behind a heritage of honor. A woman who nurtures her home with wisdom leaves behind a heritage of love. Together, they pass to their children the most priceless inheritance, not money, not property, but a model of what true devotion looks like. 2. The power of shared vision. Every legacy begins with a vision. When a couple marries, they are not only uniting their hearts but also their dreams. It is this shared vision that fuels resilience. Without a vision, marriage becomes a routine of survival. With a vision, it becomes a platform of impact. Consider this: when two people marry, they bring different pasts, different backgrounds, and different strengths. Marriage is not about erasing differences but about harmonizing them into a greater whole. It is about asking, what future can we create together? What story can our lives tell when woven as one? That vision may involve raising children who are upright, instilling values that shape leaders, or creating a home that is a refuge to others. It may be about building a marriage that radiates hope in a culture where commitment is mocked. Whatever the specifics, a shared vision makes marriage more than companionship, it makes it a mission. When that mission is faithfully lived, the legacy extends beyond the family unit. Neighbors see it, communities feel it, generations inherit it. 3. Legacy is built through sacrifice. It is impossible to speak about legacy without mentioning sacrifice. Sacrifice is the hidden language of love, the invisible ink with which the story of marriage is written. Sacrifice in marriage means putting the needs of your spouse above your convenience. It means waking up at 2 a.m. to care for a sick child. It means working long hours not for personal luxury, but for the stability of your home. It means forgiving when you could resent, holding on when you could walk away. Sacrifice is not glamorous. It rarely earns applause, but it is what cements a family's foundation. Without sacrifice, marriages dissolve into selfish pursuits. With sacrifice, they become gardens where trust, loyalty, and love grow strong. When children see a father sacrificing for his family, they learn integrity. When they see a mother giving selflessly, they learn compassion. These lessons, etched not in words but in daily acts, become the DNA of legacy. How? 4. Raising the next generation as legacy bearers. Perhaps the most direct way marriage builds legacy is through children. Children are not just members of a family, they are carriers of values, dreams, and lessons. What parents invest in them will shape not only their lives but also the world they will inhabit. Raising children is more than feeding and clothing them. It is about teaching them character, instilling discipline, and showing them by example what it means to live with purpose. A family is the first school every child attends. It is where they learn respect, empathy, faith, and perseverance. But legacy is not only about biological children. For some, it may mean mentoring, adopting, or nurturing the younger generation around them. It is about extending the circle of care so that what you have learned, suffered, and overcome becomes wisdom that others can inherit. Children may forget lectures, but they will not forget love. They may rebel against rules, but they will never escape the imprint of genuine example. This is why building a legacy through family requires intentional parenting, conscious efforts to shape the hearts of those who will one day shape the future. 5. Marriage is a reflection of society's health. Strong marriages produce strong families, and strong families produce strong societies. The decline of marriage is not merely a private matter, it is a societal crisis. When marriages crumble, children grow up wounded, communities weaken, and cycles of brokenness repeat. But when marriages thrive, they serve as stabilizers for society. A loving marriage is like a lighthouse, it silently but powerfully guides others. A family bound by love and faith becomes a testimony that commitment, trust, and sacrifice are not outdated ideals but timeless necessities. Thus, building a legacy through marriage is not just about personal fulfillment, it is about social transformation. Each couple that fights for their love contributes to the healing of a fragmented world. Each home that chooses forgiveness over bitterness, unity over division, becomes a beacon of hope in a generation desperate for stability. 6. Overcoming challenges in building legacy. It would be dishonest to pretend that building a family legacy through marriage is easy. Every couple faces storms, financial struggles, misunderstandings, illnesses, betrayals, or loss. But legacy is not built by avoiding storms, it is built by navigating them together. Challenges test the resilience of commitment. They reveal whether a couple sees marriage as disposable or is worth fighting for. The truth is, diamonds are formed under pressure, and so are legacies. To overcome challenges, couples must cultivate 3 qualities. Communication. Honest dialogue prevents resentment. Silence builds walls, communication builds bridges. Forgiveness. No marriage survives without it. Forgiveness is not excusing wrong but choosing freedom over bitterness. Perseverance. The willingness to try again, to rebuild, to believe in the us, even when the me is hurting. These qualities turn trials into testimonies, struggles into stepping stones, and pain into power. When children see their parents endure and overcome, they inherit courage. When society sees marriages that survive storms, they find hope that love can last. 7. Marriage is a spiritual legacy. Beyond emotional and social impact, marriage also carries spiritual weight. For many cultures and faiths, marriage is not just a personal choice but a divine covenant. It reflects the sacred union between God and humanity, between promise and fulfillment. In this sense, building a legacy through marriage is not only about what we do for our families but also about what we model before God and the world. A couple that prays together, forgives each other, and honors their vows testifies that love is not just a feeling but a sacred calling. This spiritual dimension gives marriage its deepest meaning. It reminds us that legacy is not only about being remembered but also about being faithful to a higher purpose. While all this may sound lofty, legacy is not built in grand gestures but in daily choices. Here are some practical steps. 1. Prioritize your marriage. Don't let work, hobbies, or even children eclipse the bond between husband and wife. A strong marriage is the foundation for everything else. 2. Create family traditions. Rituals like family meals, storytelling nights, or yearly vacations create memories that outlive you. 3. Model the values you want to pass on. Integrity, kindness, humility, and generosity are not taught by lectures but by example. 4. Invest in your children. Spend time, listen, encourage. Your presence is the most valuable gift you can give. 5. Serve beyond your home. Extend your family values to your community. Let your marriage inspire others. 6. Document your story. Write journals, record family histories, preserve memories. Future generations will treasure the story of where they came from. Legacy is not about perfection, it is about intentionality. Legacy is not something you build when you are old, it is something you begin building every day. Every choice, every word, every act of love or neglect is shaping the story you will leave behind. Marriage is one of the most powerful tools for legacy because it binds 2 lives in a covenant that echoes beyond them. Through love, sacrifice, vision, and perseverance, couples can shape generations. Long after our names are forgotten on earth, the seeds we planted in our families will still bear fruit. That is the power of building a legacy through marriage. So let us rise above selfishness. Let us embrace commitment. Let us value love not as a fleeting emotion but as a lifelong mission. Let us build marriages that are strong, families that are united, and legacies that outlive us. Because at the end of life, the greatest question will not be, how much did you earn? Or, how famous did you become? But rather, whose lives did you touch, and what did you pass on? May we all choose to build legacies of love through the sacred bond of marriage. Thank you.